Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I am coming at you with another Wargaming and miniature video. In today's video, we're going to continue on with our What's in the Box series. In our What's in the Box, we're going to look at the Oathmark Dwarf Heavy Infantry. Now, Oathmark is a Northstar miniature figures product in cooperation with Osprey Games. Osprey makes Oathmark, basically. That's a publication of, and that's a fantasy miniature rules. It's really good. You should check it out. I also have a boot camp on Oathmark on the channel. You should probably check it out. All right, now the Dwarf Heavy Infantry. They make another box, which is just Dwarf Infantry. This one is Heavy Infantry, so it should be armored. It says you're going to get 30 multi-part hard plastic 28 millimeter figures. Of course, dwarves aren't 28 millimeter. That's really just 28 millimeter scale. All right, so let's take a look at the box. And it kind of gives you an idea of what you're in for. You're looking at arms, torso, head, and accessories. It says 30 parts. You can go to Osprey or Northstar figures. Seasoned veterans, heavy infantry are inspiring their allies. Okay, great. This box set offers enough parts to build 30 dwarf for your Oathmark armies. These heavily armored warriors can be armed with hand weapons and shields or two-handed weapons, and parts are also included to add banner bearers and officers. Okay, because it kind of shows on the box this guy carrying, he looks very Celtic. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. Oh, multiple sprues in here. Okay, let's see yeah, we're getting bases and everything. Okay, so I'm going to set this guy right there out of the way. I'm going to put the sprues right there. And it looks like these are 10 bases, 1 inch by 1 inch. Oathmark, they're normal size troops like dwarves, halflings, humans, elves, skeletons, that kind of stuff. They're all mounted on 1 inch bases. That's great. So they give you 30 of them, 1 per soldier. So you don't have to go out and get bases. Now my question is, are all these sprues exactly the same? Double check to see if these guys are all exactly the same. They kind of look like they are. Yes. Okay, and you're getting 6 sprues. So if you get 5 guys per sprue times 6 sprues, you're looking at 30 models. And there's your 5 guys right there. Looks like you're okay. Now, if you've never been to a What's in the Box from us, what we do is we look at what you actually get in the box. We show you, but then we also zoom in and take a look at the quality and the detail. Now, if all these sprues are exactly the same, and I'm getting 5 soldiers right there per sprue. Look at all these heads. There are more heads than you can imagine. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 different heads that you can. So almost, not exactly, but almost every one of your dwarves will have a different head. Yeah, I mean, you can double up, triple up some of the heads that you like best, or helmets that you like best, or what have you. But 23 different heads for 5 guys, or for a total of 30. Looking at the axes, I'm seeing a cool fantasy shaped battle axe, right? These two are kind of very similar. This one might be a little bit more hooky. Double bit axe, that's cool. A mace, a hammer. So with 6 sprues, you can make 6 maces or 6 hammers. or you could make 3 axes. So you would have to mix and match your weapon selection. But there's at least 5 shields, so every one of your guys can have a shield. But then there's these arms over here as well. You got smaller hammers. You have swords, 2 swords. That looks like your standard option. Oh, okay. Yeah. So there's a Lucerne hammer. I was looking at it upside down. I was like, what is that? But that's the handle. That's the hammer. Okay. So you got an arm pointing. You got this hammer. Nice looking 2-handed hammer. You've got battle axes. These are like great axes, kind of. You got swords. You got a couple of light hammers. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3 axes. You can make everybody with axes if you wanted, or you can mix and match swords and what have you. There's even like a hand axe. Looks like it's hanging from the belt. A bunch of shield arms in different positions, holding your shields in various positions. Got a pointing arm. And these look like arms that would go on your axes to make them 2-handed. So these are like all 2-handed weapons. These are all 1-handed weapons. So if you want to go with 1 hand and shield, or 2-handed, I think is the technique. I'm not sure what that is. Looks like a horn, maybe. A drinking mug. Looks like a dagger, another horn, a pouch for their gold, you know how it is. And then these are like ornamentations for maybe their armor. That looks like maybe a crest that would go on one of the helmets if you wanted to add it. I'm just kind of looking at the box because some of these guys, have crests, and these helmets might have them. Yeah, they look like they already have them pre-built into their helmets. But like this guy's got this extra crest piece glued on the top of his helmet. So you can make 2. I'm thinking to myself, I can make 2 units of 15. One with the shields and hand weapons, and then the other one with the 2-handed weapons. All right, let me adjust the focus. We'll zoom in and we'll take a close look at what you get. All right, so let's go ahead and pull one of these sprues up so you can kind of take a look at it. Let's start down here with the heavy weapons. No, I guess this would be here we go. I flipped it over. The heavy weapons. Okay. Let me get this in focus here. You got the axes, different styles. You got their right and left hands. This one's a different style. Double bit. Mace. And the Lucerne. And every one of these comes with the left hand, left arm. Okay, and then we go to the torsos. Now we're looking at the backs of these first, but we're going to come in and look at the fronts here in a minute. He's got a knife on his back. They all have knives. Okay. That kind of looks like a type of scale. That kind of looks a little bit like a brigandine with chainmail underneath. Yeah. a mixture of brigandines and scale, it looks like. Okay. And then here you get to see the fronts of the shields. All have kind of a unique different pattern. And then there's the shield arms. And you see there's more arms than you need, but that allows you to put them in the position that you want, a variety. And starting with the heads. Oh, that's kind of, oh yeah, that's a serious beard. That's a mustache for you. That's one of those Fu Manchu mustaches, braided beards, different style helmets. Okay, these are open-faced helmets. It looks like open, just conical helmets. And then these have like the face guards. Protective. I'd probably use those. That's that one crest I was talking about. That's a nice face. You definitely look dwarven. Okay. Is that a Cylon? What is that? Okay. That's cool too. And then we're looking at the standard bearer, right? Lucerne with the guy pointing, and just single-handed weapons for your shield arms. You know, opposite the shield. Sword and shield or what have you. Okay, I flipped it over just so you can kind of see both sides. You know, all this detail on the handles and the weapons themselves. A lot of runes. And then these are the backs of the heads, which really don't show you much, right? Because they're going to be glued onto the torso. All right. Backs of the shield got a little place for you to glue their arms. Yeah. And then, see, I think that's a horn for, not a drinking horn. It could be a drinking horn, but I'm thinking more like a musician's horn. I could be wrong. That's a drinking mug. I guess you would hang it off the belt. There's another knife, another horn. Could be drinking horns. But belt pouch. And maybe another belt pouch. Little axe probably hanging off of the belt. And then there's the front of the armors. They look good. They do look good. There's the hammer and the mace and the double bill and the hooked bills. All right, that was the Oathmark Dwarf Heavy Infantry. It's a fantasy line for the Oathmark game, which is a really good game. But you could use these for any other game. You could even use them for Dungeons and Dragons or even Warhammer or whatever, just depending on how you wanted to go about, you know, what you want to use it for. But it's built specifically for Oathmark. They field their units in minimum of 5, and it's good to build them in ranks of 5. So you could make like a 10-man unit, and you could make, that's kind of what they're showing here is a 10-man unit, and it looks like they have 3 of them. Or you could go with a 15 or a 20-man unit, a 10 and a 20, or however you want to do it, however you want to design your armies. But yeah, well, this guy's got a pouch, a knife, and a drinking mug all in his belt. All right, well, thank you for coming out and checking out this What's in the Box, and I'll see you in the next one.